I remembered the pinned message before coming back this time. I did it. At least I've done it once today. No matter what, that's something. Lock and Key, a magical girl mystery. Already we have some real cute looking characters. I am intrigued. I'm especially intrigued by the lady at the back, who it looks like is wearing a hat that extends forever. Is that a cape? Okay, I think it's it's like a hood with spikes and a cape. Is that the situation there? Like, it's bobbing up and down, so it's attached to them, but like... Also, they're very, very cute. Making me think of that one character whose name I've forgotten in Scratch and Melody, the witch, who I really like, and who was a trans icon as well. Gata shorts, hello. Yep, I did, upon firing this up and seeing this screen, I was like, well, I think I know who Tony's most interested in, or gonna be most interested in. Let's find out about all these people, shall we? And maybe solve a murder? I think is the vibe? It's some kind of a mystery. Let's find out. In the beginning, there was only darkness. And from that darkness, two beings emerged. Benevolence and malice. Hello also. I get the... Yeah, I was also thinking, okay, this one's gonna be a Teal game for sure. Teal's for sure gonna be keen on this one. From them, our universe was born. And within that universe, one small planet was chosen as their eternal battleground. Neither being had a physical form, and so they could not battle directly. I decided to actually be here for the start of the game. You were well rewarded. Neither being had a physical form, and so they could not battle directly. And so a new species was born. This species would one day grow to include the proxy soldiers meant to fight their battle for them. Malice was the first to create such soldiers. It reached out to the cruel, to the greedy, to the uncaring. It offered them great power as a reward for their service, but also bestowed a new form upon them. A twisted, monstrous form that reflected their true nature. These monsters, bound to one day succumb fully to their transformation and exist as no more than mindless beasts, came to be known by a single name. Oh! The Consumed. I mean, I'm already big on this. I'm already big on the vibes we're getting here. These Consumed lived normal lives day by day, but embraced their cruelty by night. Their existence was kept a secret so as to better facilitate their activities without resistance. Benevolence saw these beasts and knew that there was only one way to combat them. Not by driving humans into paranoia and violence, but by creating warriors of its own. Ren! Welcome in, thank you for resubscribing, lovely! How are you doing?
Assume.
Whoa! The TTS had a time with that one! I would try to repeat it, but I honestly couldn't keep up. Very welcome in. Yeah, pretty gay. I think pretty gay, I think this might be about a married couple of magical girls, / former magical girls, / magical women. I don't know. But yeah, it's a pretty gay day today. That's the general vibe. That's what we're going for. And currently, we're learning about the setup for this magical girl world. It saw the compassion, the love, the desire to do good that existed within the hearts of young women. These qualities represented Benevolence's ideals more strongly than any other humans. And so, they were chosen to be these champions of the light. Just as they're not magical and are instead science. Benevolence came to them without deceit. It told them the truth of the universe, and told them of the dangers they would face by joining this battle. Any kissing, gay or otherwise, yet? I don't believe we've had any kissing. No, we've not had any kissing as of yet. Not today, at least. I think the only kissing we've done was in Love is in the Airship, right? None were forced to take up arms. Only those prepared to brave the dangers of battle for the sake of their fellow human beings took up this sacred calling. These brave warriors were granted a new form of their own, but one that would not last. To make room for the next generation and to safeguard those whose powers might wane with age, their form and abilities would disappear upon reaching 30 years of age, at which point they would not have developed many transferable skills for the workplace and would struggle to find ways to make it in the modern reality of capitalism, as we all do. Love is in the Airship did not waste time. Love is in the Airship got to the point real quick. And very, very excitedly. But as long as they had that power within them, even clicking out of the game couldn't stop the progress. As long as they felt the desire to defend the world from evil, they would be known as magical girls. For millennia, magical girls have worked together to protect our world from the forces of malice. While the world at large may never know of them, these hidden warriors have saved countless lives. Did not waste time. Finally called Rebecca out. I mean, if you've been wanting to call me out this whole time, Kalaloff, you feel free. I want to know if I'm putting my foot in it all the time without realizing it. If you want to tell everyone I suck and I'm problematic, please go ahead. We've already learned that. We've figured that out. And for every war, it began with a single question. One that came first in a dream, then once again in the waking world. Do you want to protect this world? Well, yeah, I do. Fine. Lock and Key! A magical girl mystery. Cohen! Huh? You done here? If I don't get my team on this scene soon, CBD's gonna have my ass, and dealing with them on a good day is already torture. I sigh and roll my eyes. The only thing worse than a case I can't crack is one where I have to deal with the cops. Already off to a strong start. But I guess that's par for the course when you're looking for a serial killer. Locked room killer added to your data. I wish I could just tell them to piss off and focus. But a night in jail and very worried wife were enough to keep me from trying that again. At least Nat is nice enough to let me check out the scene. That doesn't make up for the dirty looks I get from everyone else here. I guess they're not a fan of some punk doing their job for them. Welcome everyone to Introvert. How you doing? Give me a few more minutes. I want to inspect the body again. Just hurry it up and for fuck's sake, wear some gloves this time. Yeah. I can't explain to them why I need to touch things directly to use my powers on them. Or why, every time I do, I can't help but think of how this all started. It was easier when I was a kid. Back then, all it took was a dropped pen to find a consumed lair. Dealing with humans hurting other humans is much harder. Not to mention, more depressing. Can I have the room for a second? Are you seriously asking me to leave you alone in the crime scene? Seriously? Yes, seriously. Nat sighs and throws up her hands. She owes me, and she knows it. Fine, but if you breathe a word of this to anyone, the next crime scene is going to be at your house. Natasha Rubinsky added to your data. For all Nat's bluster, I'll take dealing with her over dealing with actual cops any day of the week. At least she can't get away with attacking me. Which is a lot more than I can say for Chicago's finest. Bunch of pricks. She walks out with a huff, leaving me to work. As soon as she's gone, I remove one of my gloves and close my eyes. My powers of clairvoyance only work on inanimate objects. I was 15 when I first learned that includes corpses. Whoa. At least it was a rarity back then. Back when I was actually saving lives. Helping people. As opposed to whatever I do now. With a sigh, I reach out and put my hand on the victim's body. Turn back the clock. Bring the past to me so that I might see the truth. For the sake of the innocent. We playing Obra Dinn? We playing gay Obra Dinn? Visions of the victim's last 24 hours fill my mind. I can't see the finer details the way I could when I was younger, but I'm still able to track his movements and activities throughout the time period. I call the power spirit reflection. Most of the time, anyway. Les Brodin! Les Brodin! Les Brodin! Finally! Welcome in, Sarah Starchild. How are you doing? Some days I tend to call it shitty clairvoyance instead. It's not an accurate name. For starters, I can only see backwards, and even then it's not nearly as powerful as real clairvoyance would be. All I can do is track an object's movements and positions over the last 24 to 48 hours. If I had the murder weapon on hand, it'd be easy. I could find out where it came from and get a vague idea of who'd held it. Now, Writing Club looks different. We're doing moiders. We're not doing moiders. We're solving moiders. Welcome back, Gemma. Yeah, we're on a different game now. We're doing Magical Girl Mysteries. But there's only so much I can tell from a corpse. I know this is his house and that he hadn't left home today. I can see him moving from room to room. Then I see him struggling. His movements grow erratic in the living room. He tries to fight back. But it's not enough. When Moiderus sounds like a bit of a slip. They're onto me! I have to go! Too eager, you see. Moidus, bet it was Millie. It was probably Millie. Millie was ready. My eyes snap open as I yank my hand away, but the image doesn't leave my head. It'll probably be there for the rest of the day. I wipe off my hands and rub my temples, the same familiar questions filling my mind. What am I doing here? Why am I still getting myself involved in this shit? I've got a master's degree, for God's sake. I could be working at a hospital. Hell, I could have my own practice. Magical girls can protect the universe until they turn 30? Some very nice bastard called and interrupted me watching the lore. Yes, so... Magical girls can protect the universe until they turn 30. Benevolence and malice are the two big forces that originated reality. They're gonna have to do a big war, so malice is corrupting people who will eventually turn into beasts to fight the war. Benevolence created magical girls who can fight until they're 30 and then they pass down their powers. I believe is the gist so far. And we are investigating crime scenes using presumably our magical girl powers that we still have. I haven't been a magical girl for more than a decade, but I'm still getting myself wrapped up in mysteries. And what happens when I lose my powers next year? I'm just going to screw around in crime scenes and make wild guesses? It's not that these are new thoughts, but they've gotten worse lately. Especially today. It's her day, after all. Also, we know we have a wife, so... We so gay. We so gay! My enhanced self-doubt is cut short by Nat slamming the door open again, looking at me with annoyance. This, to my knowledge, is not our wife, but... Actually, do we have... Is it in log or data? No, it's in data. Where's Sherry Cohen? Hobby, collecting stuffed animals. Favorite food, coffee cake. A former magical girl turned private eye. Sherry Cohen has served as the owner and sole employee of Cohen Investigations for the past 5 years. Sherry doesn't miss the magical girl life as much as her friends do. After they retired at the end of high school, she chose to focus on her education rather than attempting to recapture her former glory. Now a married woman. We've not met the married woman yet. We are the married woman. A forensic scientist specializing in on-site crime scene investigation, Natasha Nat Rabinski is Sherry's longtime acquaintance and key source of information about police activity in the city. We'll come back to this later. For now, let's just play the game. Let's let the game tell us all about these people. Modern times and their wife games. Finally, it's the golden age. My enhanced self-doubt is cut short by Nat slamming the door open again, looking at me with annoyance. Time's up! They're sending me and my team in now. Fine by me. I'm done here. Already solved the case and saved the day, Sherlock? Oh, totally. I'll have Moriarty in handcuffs for you by tomorrow morning. She doesn't respond, just jerking her hand towards the door in the universal gesture for get the hell out. I stand up and step back as her usual band of masked forensic guys file into the room. Nat glares at me as I continue to look around, blatantly ignoring her demand that I leave them be. It's not like it's illegal for me to be here, but her team has complained enough about me interfering enough already. Sherry, I'm not going to tell you again. Fine, fine, I'm going. If the full forensic team is coming in, then the cops are sure to follow, and they'd be all too pleased to make me a scapegoat. Must have some nerve trying to actually solve the crime instead of finding some poor bastard to pin it on. Sure, they don't understand my methods, but I've still got a better track record than any of their esteemed detectives. Besides, I'm in no hurry to tell them my method is being a former magical girl. I think I'm weird enough as is. Not like I care what they think, but still. I don't exactly miss fighting Consumed, but sometimes I feel like I'd rather be risking my life fighting monsters than dealing with cops. At least then I was saving lives instead of just picking up the pieces. The wind whips against my face as I arrive home, but I don't even feel it. I'm too preoccupied with thoughts of getting some rest when I get there. 15 minutes later, I barely make it to the couch before my aching muscles protest. Even through the sore back and knee pain, something about the case I just left doesn't sit well with me. But I can't figure out what it is. It's not like I haven't dealt with a murder before. Hell, I've even dealt with multiple murders before. Maybe it's the lack of evidence? Nothing from my powers and nothing from the surroundings. Entry point, murder weapon, any physical indication that someone else had entered the house? None of it. That's not new either. There are plenty of cases where the cops ruined the scene before I had a chance to get there. My mind keeps turning, checking every possibility before discarding it. Logically, there's no real reason for me to feel so uneasy this time around, but I can't shake the feeling that something's off. Eventually, I shut my eyes with a resigned sigh. All I have are maybes, and I'm really sick of maybes. If I could just find one certainty. The Cohen household! My train of thought grinds to a halt as I look toward the source of the sudden splashing sound. It isn't rain or anything like that. Rather, it's coming from right outside the door. Hello? I sit up to find a puddle of strange pinkish liquid seeping under the door. It glides across the floor without any trace left behind. If I didn't know any better, I'd be freaking out. Instead, I just sigh. The door's unlocked, you know. You could have just come in normally. A voice emanates from the puddle. A very cute voice. Yeah, but where's the fun in that? Oh, I thought it was going to be a weird little creature. Yeah, but where's the fun in that? As I watch, the liquid comes together into one point and begins to solidify, rising into a pillar before taking the shape of a beautiful woman. Too late, go back. I don't know how much this person's going to talk. Long black hair streams down the newly formed head as the remaining facial features take their place. Kealey's eyes open, and her mouth forms into a mischievous smile. There's no way I'm gonna let my last year of shapeshifting pass me by without at least a few pranks! That one is a classic after all! I love you so much, my darling. I love you too, honey! Come here! Mwah, 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 mwah. I assume this is our wife, at least. The classic instant regret of voice acting. If by classic you mean grossing me out for over a decade, then yes, it certainly is a classic. That's exactly what I mean! Kealey Cohen added to your data. I sit up and make room for her on the couch, patting the cushion beside me. Welcome home, baby. I lean my head back as she bends down to kiss me, the warmth of her lips offering welcome comfort. Look, every now and then I'm like, okay, now I should dial this voice back, I should bring it back. But when literally everyone who comments in chat is like, no, go back, you gotta do the Patty voice. I'm like, well, okay, give the people what they want. I never really feel at home unless she's here with me. As soon as our lips part, she Sorry. Just every time I think about them having even, like, the slightest of a sincere conversation, just a soft, you know, talking about their days or whatever. And I've got to do it like this! Don't bow to peer pressure. I want it, though. It is also a fun voice to do. It's a very fluid performance. Hey! Does this count as a smooch? I reckon this counts as a smooch. Put one on the smooch counter. Tony, I know you're keeping track. As soon as our lips part, she hops onto the couch to sit down next to me, resting her head against my shoulder and wrapping her arm around mine. Being in a relationship with Toad from Mario. No, that'd be like this! Let me tell you! That already hurts my throat. Hang on. Okay, we're not doing a Toad voice today. Now that you know, I don't think people would necessarily want it, but that's too much for my voice today. We both let out a contented sigh in unison. This is the best part of the day. How was your day? Not too eventful. My Mark was home, so I had to settle for just looking around the place. I think I'll go back for whatever's in the safe this weekend. Wait, you don't know what he's got in there? The guy's one of those rich executive types. So good. So I'm sure it's something good. Besides, finding out is the fun part. It's not always about the money, you know. That's why you're the best in the business, baby. Aw, thank you, sweetie. What is happening? I'm losing my mind is what's happening, Tony. To pee and I come back to this. So, the game said a puddle of pink goo slides under the door and speaks with a very cute voice. I thought it was going to be like a magical girl mascot kind of character, you know, a weird little floating cat or something. But no, it's our wife. So I tried to bring it back to a normal human voice, and then people were like, no, you started now. Stick with it. And I said, yeah, all right. Aw, thank you, sweetie. Damn right, no. She gives me another kiss before snuggling closer to me. You'd never be able to tell by looking at her that she's one of the most notorious cat burglars in Chicago. I adore these two so much. A wife can be a mascot. Then again, that's part of why she gets away with it. Of course, being a shapeshifter doesn't hurt either. Also, she knows how to speak very inconspicuously. You make any progress on the case today? I sigh, wishing I could just forget today's visions. This job would be a lot easier if they didn't linger in my mind for so long. Nothing useful. Yet another locked room mystery just like the others. Either this guy's really good, or I'm losing my touch faster than I thought. Don't say that, sweetie! There's never been a case Sherlock Cohen can't solve, right? Joyzy accent since I took a call. I don't know. It's more than just being stumped. I just feel kind of burnt out, you know? Like, I'm not sure if I even have the energy to see this case through. Putting up with the cops makes it even worse. Kealey kisses my cheek. I can tell she's trying to hide the worry in her eyes for my sake, even though she knows she doesn't have to. Maybe you should retire early, honey. I know you're sick of dealing with him, and I've had more than enough to set us up with a comfortable nest egg. I chuckle, running my fingers through her hair and kissing her forehead. And lose my chance to whine to you when I get home? Never. We both laugh at that one before settling into silence. I don't know how I'd make it through the day if I couldn't look forward to cuddling at the end of it. Maybe tomorrow you and I could go over the details of the case again. 2 heads are better than 1. You know how good I am with numbers. Don't say it like that. You sound like a serial killer. I do not! Besides, you know I'm more of a serial thriller. That was awful. Like, really awful. Not counting all these kisses, I do yeah, right? I appreciate them as well. They're so cute. You're just jealous you didn't come up with it first. You think that after 12 years her sense of humor would have improved? It hasn't. She's not wrong about being helpful, though. I might be good at putting together evidence in a pattern and drawing conclusions, but she's always been good at seeing the tiny details I might miss without her. Just always feel a bit guilty when I bring her in. She's got her own job, and making her do mine too feels unfair. Maybe that's just me being stubborn. You need me to break into the station and find out if they're keeping anything from you? I'm more than happy to. It's not likely to be the first time. It was nearly 10 years ago. Those inflated police budgets, security would be way tighter than it was before. Cameras, more guards, that sort of stuff. You almost got caught last time, remember? Are you saying I gotten worse? No way. I'm just saying that they've gotten better. A lot better.
Hey, you never know until you try. I bet I could do it.
I give her a kiss on the cheek before shaking my head. What happened to the shy little high school girl that always looked before she leaped?
Oh, her? I hear she got a lot less shy when she married a real troublemaker.
A troublemaker, huh?
The worst kind.
I lift her head up and kiss her again, much deeper this time. One of my hands moves to her side, drifting up and down her abdomen. But before I can go any further, she pulls away with a frown.
We'll have to save this for later, honey. I need to get dinner started before Nina shows up.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course. Shit. I'd completely forgotten she was coming over. If I let that slip, she'll never let me hear the end of it. And on today of all days, too. This case must be weighing on me even more than I thought. I've never forgotten about how important today is before now. It'll be good to have her here, though. Maybe it'll be the distraction I need. Even if it is interrupting another kind of distraction. In that case, I should probably go shower. I smell like a crime scene.
I like your crime scene smell.
And you think Nina would too?
I mean, yeah.
That's fair. I stand and stretch, letting out a long yawn. Hopefully a little cold water to the face will keep me awake enough through dinner. Will help keep me awake through dinner. I owe her that much. You gonna need any help with dinner?
I'll be okay. You can go ahead and clean yourself up.
As I head towards the stairs and start to climb up, Kealey calls out to me.
Hey, sweetie.
Yeah, babe?
I'm really glad that shy little girl married that troublemaker.
You and me both, honey. You and me both.
That's so cute, I'm gonna die.
By the time I'm done showering, most of my stress has melted away. I can't fully get the image of the crime scene out of my head, but it only comes in flashes now. The house, the blood, the frantic movements of the victim. Using spirit reflection always leaves me with some kind of afterimage. At least that helps when it comes to studying details. I towel off and throw on a clean shirt before heading downstairs. As soon as I do, the smell of my wife's cooking banishes those last few lingering flashes. All I can think about now is how much I want to dig into some udon. It's incredible how delicious her cooking has gotten lately.
There you are! I was starting to worry you'd fallen asleep in there.
No such luck. After the day I've had, I wouldn't mind a little shower power nap. She giggles and turns her head towards me, giving me one of those little smiles that still makes my heart flutter before going back to her preparations. God, she's gorgeous.
Don't worry too much about being tired. Nina might as well be a natural shot of espresso.
Oh, is she already here?
Not just yet, but I'm sure she'll show up any second. You know how she likes to travel.
Well, hopefully she gives me enough time to do this. I move up behind her, wrapping my arms around her waist and brushing my lips against her neck. She rewards me with a small yelp of surprise before letting out another giggle.
Honey, I still have to finish this before she gets here.
She can wait. Kisses first. Oh my god, Cher. Cher, can you stop being gay for like 2 seconds so Key can get some of that in a bowl? I'm starving. We both whirl around in unison to come face to face with Nina. I sputter and let out a cough, a bit embarrassed about being caught in a moment of sappiness. She's teaching me out in a magical girl suit. Nina, get out of here! Things were just getting good. As we face her, she breaks into a massive grin and lets out a squeal of delight. As always, her excitement is infectious enough to help get me over my initial embarrassment at being caught in the act. Nina Alencar, let them cook. Another evil blonde. Before we have a chance to speak, she bounds over to pull us into a gigantic hug. I missed you both so much! Next time I go on tour, I'm taking you with me. No arguing. Good to see you again, Nina, but maybe you could use the door next time. No goddamn way! As long as I can teleport, I'm not touching a door in my life. I pat her back and she squeezes us even tighter. She's got me grinning too now.
We missed you too. I can't believe how long it's been.
2 years, The trouble is, when you do big voices, it gets harder to switch between them. 2 years, 73 days, 18 hours, and 12 minutes. That's 2 years, 73 days, 18 hours, and 10 minutes too long. Did you seriously keep track of it down to the minute? Oh no, I'm 100% fucking with you right now. You really thought, though. She releases the hug, winking at me with another grin. How do the voices? How do voices? How? Voices. How? How does? 23 years and you're still falling for the obvious ones. Get it together, Cher. So she keeps track of that one, huh? No wonder I fell for it. Now, Nina. Now, Nina. Play nice. Unless you don't want seconds on udon, that is. Nina bats her eyelashes and gives Kealey the most innocent face she can muster. It's pretty good. I'll be good, Mom. I promise. I'm a year younger than you. Yeah, but you got, like, big mom energy, you know? Sometimes I've chosen to voice and then immediately regret it 10 years later. I mean, I'm regretting it 10 seconds later. That a compliment? Duh. I know you two aren't exactly hip to modern lingo anymore, but that's pretty obvious. That one's pretty obvious. You say that like you're not 30. Nina huffs and gives me a goofy scowl while Kealey goes back to finishing up dinner. Came to speak really fast and then found out she had a 7-page monologue. No! Gemma, no! I'm 29, Cher. I still got a month before I turn into an old lady, and I'm gonna make the most of it. All three of us are. So you're staying in Chicago all month, then? You better believe it. I'm off tour for the next 3 months. We are gonna tear this shit up! I don't have the heart to tell her that Kealey and I have long since passed the tearing shit up phase. But even if we can't keep up with Nina's speed, I'm sure we'll have plenty of fun. The way we used to before. Sweetie, could you grab a few bowls for us? Nobody's gonna be tearing anything up on an empty stomach. I've never heard of any other Jane Austen characters being described as rapping, but it was the only way I could breathe. Gemma, I so desperately want to know, what was this for? In what context was this? Because each new detail you add to the situation just makes it so much more tantalizing. Nina bolts to her chair and sits down, vibrating with excitement. I swear she's about to start drooling. I oblige my wife, grabbing us bowls and giving her a quick kiss before sitting down. Took for granted that it happened on the stream. Dinner is served! Kealey's cooking is as delicious as ever. Doing a reading of Emma by Jane Austen and had to deal with Miss Bates. Oh. Oh, Gemma. Oh, Gemma, sweetheart. Kealey's cooking is as delicious as ever. Nina certainly seems to feel the same way, eating her way through 2 packed bowls before I'm even halfway through my first. In between mouthfuls, she tells us stories about life on tour, moving from place to place, dealing with crowds of fans, performing in front of hundreds of people. Makes our job seem easy by comparison. I'd probably crash and burn after a few months, but she's been going at it for nearly a decade now. And despite everything, she's still the same old Nina. Half the audience was English as a second language. They said even though they didn't understand any words, they got the gist remarkably well. Well, that's what you need. That's all you need when you're doing a performance, you know, like for theatre or for readings. As long as they know the beats of the story and the general gist of what's going on, and the general emotions and vibes, that's the main thing. The Nina I grew up with, still bursting with energy, still driven to stand out from the crowd, still full of love for us. I've always admired that ambition of hers. Even though I was the only one who she'd known since we were kids, she was still the one who brought us together to form a team. Everyone else was ready to rally around the girl with a big dream and a bigger attitude. Hell, I'm not even sure if I would have been able to ask Kealey out without Nina pushing me to go for it. No wonder she got scouted right out of high school. Being a star was her dream, and her dreams always came true. That and the fact that she's got one hell of a voice too. Although it would be nice if she didn't use it to yell so much when I'm sitting a few feet away from her. After we've all had our fill, I head into the kitchen and grab a bottle of whiskey and 3 glasses. Kealey and I don't drink very often, but this is a cause for celebration. In one way, at least. OMG, you read my mind! Nothing like a little nightcap before I go. Did you think about which hell of a voice you should give her? I thought about how I'm probably letting that down.
You are lucky there are no laws against teleporting under the influence.
Oh, please, you act like I'd actually listen to some square's rules. Hell, according to the rules, I was supposed to have dinner with some record label suits tonight.
You're not gonna get in trouble for blowing them off on our account, are you?
Don't worry. It's not like it was anybody that mattered. Besides, being here tonight is way more important than spending a night pretending to care about branding. Nina looks down at her glass, her expression suddenly darkening. Especially tonight, you know? I just nod and start pouring our drinks. We've been dancing around tonight's special occasion since Nina arrived, but I know that couldn't last forever. Kealey looks down at the table, swilling her drink and letting out a wistful sigh.
How old would she be now? 27?
Yeah, been 12 years now. Doesn't feel like it, though. It really doesn't. Sometimes it feels like it happened yesterday. Other times, it feels like a century ago. Death is strange like that. No matter how much I've seen, I know I'll never get used to it. I raise my glass, and they follow suit. Happy birthday, Elle.
Happy birthday, Elle.
We throw back our drinks, the warm burn of the alcohol a blessing after the chill that filled the room when we said her name. In the moment, it feels like she's here with us, that goofy little smile lighting up the room like it always did. When Kealey puts her glass down, I can see a few teardrops streaking her face. I squeeze her hand under the table and she manages a small smile in response. Nina's stony face, meanwhile, betrays nothing. I silently pour us another round of drinks, muttering a snippet of the Mourner's Kaddish. I really love the expressions, especially on these two. On all three of them, but especially these two, like, you're really getting a gentle smile, but with a lot of sadness in it. It's really good work. I'm not going to try to say it, because I'm going to get it wrong. May he who creates peace in his celestial heights create peace for all of us.
Amen.
Elle Byrne added to your data. With no picture. After another moment of silence, Nina speaks up with her usual pep.
Okay then, I think it's time you told me about that juicy new case you mentioned. Sounded like pretty next level stuff.
I'm sure some people would consider her insensitive jumping right into another topic like this. But Kealey and I don't mind. It's better than spending the rest of the evening and morning. It's like a really sweet memorial, but I've seen too many drama shows of some expecting Elle's death to have been a conspiracy. Yeah. At best a conspiracy, at worst maybe faked? Possibly as part of a conspiracy? Most likely as part of a conspiracy. Hebrew has predictable pronunciations at least. I'd still worry. Elle probably wouldn't have wanted that. And besides, it's not like I don't want her input. That's why I told her about it, right?
Looking to flex your detective muscles too, Nina?
Hey, I'm an international woman of mystery. I didn't realize catching serial killers was part of the pop star life.
Sounds like somebody isn't in the know then.
Now, show me those mad investigator skills. I take another sip of my drink before giving her the gist of things. The lack of evidence left at the scene, there's no tracks to follow, no clear motives or connections between the victims, etc. She'll occasionally chime in with questions about crime scene details, still drawing from those magical girl instincts. Kealey helps me fill in the gaps as well, leaving Nina scratching her head.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Does anything in particular stick out to you, Nina?
Well, nothing about the crimes themselves, but... She stares at me, fire suddenly appearing in her eyes.
Something sticks out about how you're investigating them.
What's that?
The fact you haven't put your wife's special talent to use.
Kealey cocks her head to the side, confused.
How would shapeshifting help us solve the case? No, your other special talent.
Knitting? Oh my god. Nina flings out her arms, waving them up and down in an arc around her. Aura reading? Hello? Kealey's eyes widen as the significance of what Nina is saying hits us.
Oh, of course! Cher, have you even looked for magic at the scene? I mean, let's be real, no murderer can be that good. If they're so mysterious, why not see if they're consumed? Any magic left at the scenes would be too faint for either of us to pick up, but Kiki's always been the best of us when it comes to aura.
Of course. I've spent so many years going after humans that the thought of a consumed killer never even crossed my mind. How could I miss something that simple? I really am losing my touch.
Find the aura, find the killer. Easy peasy.
That's actually brilliant, Nina.
I told you the catching serial killers. I told you the catching serial killers was part of being a pop star. Maybe we should check that out tomorrow night, sweetie.
Do you want to come with us, Nina? Nina laughs, taking one last swig of her drink.
No way! That sounds like a perfect date night activity. You two have fun with it. I've got nightlife to enjoy.
You can really go to clubs that easily? Aren't you worried about getting noticed?
She sure did tell them that. Don't you worry about me, Cher. The paparazzi haven't figured out a way to get around teleportation. Not yet, at least.
Kealey giggles at that one, and I can't help cracking a smile too.
Anyway, now that I've pretty much solved your case for you, I think it's about time I hit the road. My producer's gonna have a heart attack if I don't tell her who I am soon. Don't forget to cut me a check once you get paid for catching this dude, though. You don't want to stay for dessert? We have some cake in the fridge.
Nina smiles and shakes her head, standing up and stretching.
Save a piece for me, Kate. I'll come by for it when I can.
She pulls us both into one more tight hug, as warm as ever.
I love you two so much, and don't you forget it. I promise I'll come back real soon. You better. I didn't even have a chance to paint your nails. Soon, babe. Cross my heart.
Just make sure you let us know before you teleport in here. Married couples need their privacy, believe it or not. She steps away, adjusting her hair and giving us one last wink.
No promises.
And with that, she's gone as quickly as she arrived. Kealey takes my hand and leans against me, looking at the spot where Nina was standing just a moment ago.
She seems like she's doing well. A lot better than she was last time.
Definitely. You weren't kidding. She really is a shot of espresso.
So you're wide awake now?
I lean down and kiss her forehead, wrapping an arm around her. Very. Come on, let's go upstairs. I could stand to unwind a bit before bed. Kealey raises her head to meet mine, kissing me gently.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Not like we haven't done this before, but I can't quite shake the feeling that we're doing something wrong.
I'll have us inside in a jiff. Just watch.
Kealey's confidence brings a smile to my face, even as we're standing outside a crime scene in the early hours of the morning. I haven't seen an officer on watch, but there's no doubt that one is somewhere close by. Even though we're hidden, I'm still on edge.
Don't worry, we'll be in and out before you know it.
She squeezes my hand, interlacing her fingers with mine in a gesture that always brings me peace of mind. Whatever's got me so on edge tonight feels a bit further away. Once we're at the front door, Kealey's form falls away and she oozes beneath it. A moment later, the door clicks open, and there she is. I love that little goop effect.
Told you I could get us in.
I never doubted you. She knows I never doubted her, of course. I haven't doubted her abilities for years now. But the smile on her face makes it clear that she appreciates the affirmation. And if she's happy, then so am I. But as soon as we take a few steps into the entranceway, the smile fades. Kealey stops in her tracks and takes a deep breath.
I don't like this.
You feel something already? There were definitely signs of a struggle in here, but this isn't where he died.
It's faint, but this aura... Something's strange. Let's keep moving.
I nod, though I'm worried. Kealey has such a talent for sensing aura, so it's no wonder that she sensed a dangerous vibe immediately. But even though my senses have always paled in comparison to hers, I should at least be able to sense something. Have my senses really degraded that much? I know I only have a year until they're gone for good, but even now I should still be able to pick up something if I focus on it completely. It's because of whatever's strange about this aura? I shake my head, dismissing the conjecture. That's not what matters right now. Instead, I lead Kealey to the living room and point out where the body was. It's long gone by now, and the police have cleaned up most of the bloodstains. Unfortunately, it still reeks of detergent. Still, Kealey doesn't need to see another corpse. Just because I've gotten desensitized to them doesn't mean she has. She's always been the more empathetic one.
Is this the room?
This is the one. He was on the floor near the ottoman. As far as I can tell, he was injured somewhere else and then pursued through the house until he succumbed to whatever was chasing him in here.
That's horrible. What a sad way to die.
Her foot taps against the floor, betraying an uncertainty I know all too well. It's a telltale sign that whatever she doesn't understand is making her nervous. I step forward and put a hand on her shoulder, hoping to calm her down the way I always do. I don't like being here in the middle of the night, nor do I like putting Kealey in danger. But I couldn't say no to her about something this important. Hey, we don't have to stay if it's skeeving you out. We can leave. Kealey shakes her head.
It's not that. I don't think I've felt energy quite like this before. It's new.
New? I mean, all consumed are different, but...
There's something really off about this one. It's not normal.
So there's no question about who did this then? Or what? The serious tone in her voice worries me. We've dealt with particularly strong ones before.
Not like this. Even the powerful ones felt familiar. The consumed all have similar energy, just like magical goils.
Magical goils.
But this... It doesn't feel like a consumed. Not entirely, anyway.
I grasp her hand in mine, returning the squeeze from earlier. Even if I can't tell what she's sensing, I trust her every step of the way. Kealey closes her eyes to think, and the air around her billows in soft, soothing waves. I don't know if it's a side effect of her powers or simply how I feel about her, but it's immensely calming to be next to her while she works. My shoulders sink, my muscles relax, and my head clears. It's magic of a different kind.
Whatever this thing is, it's long gone. That much I can say for sure.
Spirit Reflection told me the same thing. It's been at least 24 hours, probably more. Kealey looks at me confused.
No, it hasn't. If that was the case, then the aura would be completely gone by now.
Then that must mean...
It came back.
I don't understand. A normal human might return to the scene of the crime, but the consumed are like animals. Why would one go back to the same house they'd already attacked? It doesn't make sense. Could it have come before the attack too? Would it be intelligent enough to scout the place out first? No, that's ridiculous. I'm getting way too far ahead of myself here. Just gotta focus on the now.
I'm gonna go check through the other rooms, see if there's anything else I can pick up. You gonna be okay down here?
I'll be okay, promise. I'll see if I can find anything I might have missed. Just let me know if you sense anything dangerous, okay, babe? Be safe.
Don't you worry about me. I still remember how to kick ass.
I know, baby, I know. She trots upstairs, leaving me alone. There's not many personal effects left in the room. Anything that looked to be even remotely useful has been confiscated by the cops. Doesn't leave me with much to work with, other than the furniture. It might not be much, but anything counts. Let's see. I press my hand to the end of the couch, trying to find something, anything of clarity. Visions of a restful morning, a day spent empty, and then a struggle. Something knocks the couch off kilter. I take a moment to rack my brain about what exactly that man was running away from. A shadow? A person? Nothing big enough to toss a couch around, but big enough to scare this guy senseless. It's no good. I just can't see it. No matter how hard I think, I can't seem to gain any further clarity with reflection. Yet another sign that Sherlock Holmes' detective powers are on their last legs. It's frustrating in the moment, but that thought leaves a part of me feeling relieved. Another sign that it's time to move on from this job, to move on from picking up the pieces, to move on from the obligation this power brings. That doesn't sound bad at all. It had certainly been getting a little more sleep, at least.
Cher?
Kealey calls me from upstairs, still doing her best to keep her voice hushed in case the patrolling cop decides to make their way back here. Sorry.
Cher?
Yeah? What's up?
If you're not busy, would you mind taking a look at this?
I heave a sigh, giving up on searching for clues on my own. He's hoping Kealey's search has gone better than mine. I head up the stairs, peering through the different rooms of the house until I find her in what looks like a study. Kealey stands in front of a row of shelves, looking at something on the top. Hey babe, what's up?
This here.
Kealey points to a framed photo. Within it are a man and a woman looking happy together. Judging by the hair, the man must be the victim. Looks so different in life. Do you think the girl is suspicious or something?
I wouldn't know, but don't you think she looks familiar? I swear I've seen her before.
Like on the street? This isn't too far from home. Maybe you've crossed paths.
No, it's not that. Maybe we met them at a party or something? The man in the picture too, he seems kind of familiar. You don't recognize him at all?
He had that classic "I'm about to get murdered" haircut. Not off the top of my head, no. But now that she mentions it, something about the two people in the photo does seem vaguely familiar. Maybe I solved a case for them, or had one of them as a peer reviewer in grad school? No, that's not it. God, this is really bugging me.
Me too.
I'll at least take a picture of it so we can look over it at home. I haven't found anything else up here, and there's no point in standing around in a crime scene trying to figure out if we maybe had brunch with somebody. Just make sure you don't get your phone confiscated outside. Pictures of stuff in here could potentially be incriminating. Kealey chuckles and gives me another confident grin.
Sure, Bear, there's more than enough incriminating evidence on this phone as it is. I'm not too worried about it.
God, don't tell me for taking pics of don't tell me for taking pics of empty safes again.
You can't prove anything.
Did you say I'm the trouble? Kealey raises a hand to stop me, eyes suddenly going wide.
Sweetie, can you feel that?
It only takes a moment for me to register the sensation. This time, there's no doubt about where this particular aura is coming from. It's consumed, through and through. Where? Kealey closes her eyes and sniffs slightly, as if she's tracking it by scent.
A couple of houses away. Doesn't seem particularly strong, but...
Sounds like a job for the current crop of magical girls, then. We should probably head out.
I guess so.
Kealey sighs and looks down at her feet. I know she's still got that warrior instinct, but that isn't what we came here for. Not like it used to be.
Sherry, I know that at our age we're supposed to let him take care of it, but maybe we should drop by just to...
Suddenly I hear a sharp, piercing scream. It sounds young. Too young for us to ignore. Before I can even utter a word, Kealey's opening a window and jumping outside. I follow suit, dropping to the street and running after her. I guess she's not the only one who held on to those old instincts after all. That is problematical girls. Man, the new crop of magical girls are just so problematical. Kealey leads the charge as we rush toward the spike of magical energy, spurred on by another monstrous roar. I really like the sound for it. All I can do is offer a silent prayer that will make it in time.
You won't get away with this, fiend! There! Down that alley!
She skids right and I follow. We don't have to travel far before we see it. Yes! Yes! A grotesque mass of tentacles and eyes the entire width of the alley bursting forth from a human torso. Two of its appendages in the process of wrapping around its would-be prey. A consumed.
Get out of here! It's not safe for you!
Despite the creature gaining the upper hand, the girl calls out to us in the familiar protective tone of one of the city's guardians. While it's a bit disconcerting to recognize the girl is barely a teenager, Kealey and I know better than anyone that magical girls can start young. It's not just the outfit that gives away her nature as a magical girl. It's the fact that nobody else would be able to prioritize the safety of bystanders while they were in that position. But we're no ordinary bystanders. I glance over at my wife, who looks back at me with a determined smile.
Use it or lose it, right?
I nod and give her a thumbs up in return. Guess it's time to shake the rust off. Where's your magic 20-foot cape?
Ready when you are.
I close my eyes, readying myself for the transformation. He's hoping I can still remember the words. Kealey's hand finds mine and we begin. For the sake of the world, we will be its guardians. Let our spirits shine through.
Don't tell me.
Yes, 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 yes! The familiar glow passes through my body as I'm lifted off the ground, light bursting from within me and spreading outward. Our clothes disappear, swiftly replaced by our old uniforms and a cascade of ribbons and magic. I'm surprised it still fits. Lesbians! Let's go! Magical girl lesbians! Close to retirement, baby! Welcome in, Smokey. How are you doing, lovely? My revolver appears in my hand as I drop to the ground, my body brimming with power. Prepare to face justice! Kealey drops down next to me, her whip sneaking out from her hand as she opens her eyes.
You will not escape our judgment!
We are magical ghouls! The girl's screams go quiet as she stares at us in disbelief. The consumed, too, has frozen as it looks towards us with surprise. It definitely wasn't expecting two full-grown women to be ready to fight back. Kealey charges down the middle, trusting me to follow her strategy. We don't need words to work together. Our minds can align perfectly at a moment's notice. Yet another perk of working with my wife. I'd make that face too if I heard that voice. I dodge to the right towards the wall, jumping effortlessly up to the third floor of the building and landing on the fire escape. The consumed doesn't notice my maneuver. Its animalistic mind still focused on Kealey as she swings her whip in front of it. I can't see her face, but I know she's smiling.
Judgment Cage! Entwine him!
She swings her whip straight down the middle, thorns ready to slash the monster's hide, but it doesn't move away. Instead, a sickening laugh erupts as Kealey launches her whip forward. It slaps the whip away with one tentacle and shoots another towards Kealey with frightening speed, its tip sharp enough to pierce straight through her.
Bad move, monster. Very bad move.
Kealey shifts in an instant, making a hole in her abdomen that the tentacle passes through without so much as grazing her.
Get ready to fire!
The reduced mass of her torso warps up towards her arm, extending it forward and flashing the whip past the consumed's grasp, right where we want him. When I pull the hammer back, the chamber of the gun fills with brilliant light. 6 shots are more than enough. Kealey's whip encircles the monstrous mass. It moves with a mind of its own, binding its tentacles to its chest and tying its legs together. Judgment Cage never fails. Now, it's my turn. I fan the hammer as I fire 5 more times, rapidly releasing an arc of holy spheres towards the target. The shots sink into its flesh, filling it with light from the inside out. It manages to let out one more pitiful scream before exploding into brilliantly shining dust. Elimination complete. Eliminated enemy added to your data. With its mission accomplished, the gun fades away. It always comes when I need it, but there are times when holding onto it would only make things worse. The last thing this kid needs is for someone to point a gun at her. I hop back down to the alley, landing without a sound.
You...
The girl is sitting with her back against the wall, eyes wide as she stares at us in shock.
It's okay, honey. You're safe now. You're all right.
Who are you? I kneel down to her level, offering her a reassuring smile. I don't want to baby the kid, but I know Kealey and I both want to help her out. We do what we can. We're magical girls, same as you.
We just have to have a little more experience.
I stand, offering a hand down to help her up. After a moment, she takes it and slowly stands up on shaky legs. I'm Sherry. This is my wife, Kealey. We used to patrol around Navy Pier back in the day.
You weren't telling us your name.
The girl opens and shuts her mouth a few times before finally managing to speak, her voice barely above a whisper as she stares at the ground.
Ruby. My name's Ruby. It's very nice to meet you, Ruby.
Do you want us to help you find somewhere to sit down and rest for a minute? Or call you a ride home? She nods, leaning against the wall to steady herself.
I'd like to sit down. There's a coffee shop around the corner that should still be open. Would you be comfortable going there with us?
We'll understand if you're not. I know we're strangers and all. Ruby Darkness Dementia Ravenway? Could be. There's still a chance. Ruby finally looks up at us with wide eyes, clearly still in shock. But through that expression, I can still see a muted fire in her eyes. She'll be okay. Even if you're strangers, I know you're not bad people. Bad people don't get to be magical girls. The conviction in her voice makes me grin. Rookie or not, this kid's heart is in the right place. Cafe Bouquet, added to your data. A few minutes later, we're back in our civilian clothes and relaxing with our drinks. Coffees for me and the wife, and hot chocolate for Ruby. And we're gonna take just a little break, because the ads are starting. Probably in like 35 seconds, because I think the ads tend to sync to the next full minute. So this might be a slightly longer break. Coffee break. Oh no! The ads are already here. I don't have time to make a coffee in that time, I don't think. I would. Well, maybe not a coffee, but I'd contemplate it. But I don't think I got time. But I'm gonna do a stretch. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna take care of myself. Because, make the time. Yeah. To be fair, I said I would. I don't think I really want a cup of tea or a coffee or a hot chocolate or anything. Hot chocolate I definitely don't have time for. That would take a long time. I will say, for being like big marathon days, these days have probably been the most that I've actually taken breaks during a stream. Like, a lot of the time, I go for like the full 3 or 4 hours and then I'm like, oh wait, I didn't actually take a break in any of that, did I? Oh, the color-coded highlights on the characters, they're so good. I absolutely adore the art in this game. Like, yeah, it's a really nice style. I really like the shading on Sherry's eyes. I mean, also Ruby's whole deal, incredible. We love it. Not entirely sure why she's got the spiky crown and the potentially infinite cape. I still want to know what's going on with that. Was that a cape? It must have been a cape, right? That's the only thing that would make any sense in the context of what it was doing on that menu. Man. I think I'm managing to keep up the theme of only picking bangers. Only picking real fun games for these streams. Spike Halo's a good design. What's not to like? I'm shedding hair all over the place. I should maybe deal with that someday soon. Will I though? Will I fuck? Well, base of my neck is not quite cracking, and it's frustrating me. Figure that one out later. A few minutes later, we're back in our civilian clothes and relaxing with our drinks. Coffees for me and the wife, and hot chocolate for Ruby. The wife? You feel any better, honey? Ruby takes a long swig of her hot chocolate and lets out a shaky breath, leaning back in her chair. I'm no worse for wear. Thank you for your kind assistance. Her voice seems to have taken on a deeper cadence without warning. Thank you for your kind assistance. I guess something like that. I don't know. I exchange a wordless look with Kealey, who gives me the slightest of shrugs. No problem, Ruby. You just take a couple more minutes to relax, and then we'll call you a ride home. You need not refer to me as Ruby, ma'am. I have another moniker I use when speaking with a fellow sister of justice. Do you Do you now? Indeed. Now that we've become more acquainted, you can call me... She moves her arms in a confusing flourish. Nightshade. I love her so much. Kealey and I share an awkward look, trying to think of an acceptable response. This is definitely not what I was expecting. Nightshade? Sure, babe. That's a cool nickname.
Alias, sweetie. It's an alias.
How better to strike fear into the hearts of our enemies than a name that resonates with the powerful energy of the night? Right, yeah, of course. Powerful energy and all.
I think it's a great name, honey.
You do? Her voice returns to the high pitch we heard during our battle. She really is just committing to a bit. That's respectable. Because, like, I spent a lot of time thinking stuff and... a lot of time thinking of it and stuff, and I had a bunch of other names I was going to use, like the Dark Moon, or like the Nightbringer and stuff like that, but I thought this one was the best, so I... Her eyes go wide again, and she clamps her mouth shut, suddenly aware of what she's doing. When she speaks again, her voice is back to her Nightshade tone. Anyway, I believe that Nightshade suits me best, and soon all the consumed in Chicago will learn to fear that name. That's very nice, honey. Totally. You got this. Just make sure you're realistic about what you're ready to take on, okay? If we hadn't shown up, that consumed could have seriously hurt you. Or worse. Oh, it was no trouble. I'm certain I could have gotten the upper hand sooner or later. However, having help from some veteran warriors did make things much easier. I tried to keep my temper even, remembering how much of a hothead I was at her age. Every win made it feel easy, like I could take on the world. Until I couldn't. And I don't want that for her. Or anyone else. Ruby was serious. That consumed was way too strong for you to be taking on alone. How long have you been a magical girl? Ruby mumbles her answer, barely audible over the copy shop ambience. It's been, 2 weeks. 1.5. Oh boy, that won't do at all. Now, have you had any prior training? Spent any time with more experienced magical girls? She rolls her eyes, no doubt tired of lectures from adults. I get it. This is a lot more important than to talk about curfews or whatever it is kids get talks about these days. Well, Benevolence taught me how to fight and use my powers. It didn't take long for me to establish myself as a hunter of the night. That's more than enough to slay the consumed, yes? Smaller ones, yes, but you weren't dealing with a smaller one, honey. It's not like that needs teamwork to take down. Ruby pouts, looking frustrated. Her Nightshade persona slips again. And how did you learn? You put them when you were still young, right? When we were still young? I'm only 28. Looks like I'm not the only one trying to keep my temper in check. Kealey can get a bit insecure when she's stressed out. I'm sure Ruby didn't mean anything by it, but I'd better mediate things just in case. She just means when you're a teenager, baby. Of course you're still young. Thank you. Kealey huffs and takes a long sip of her coffee as I turn back to Ruby. And to answer your question, Ruby, we learned by training. First by honing the skills Benevolence taught us, but eventually we learned new techniques from other magical girls as well. Kids these days are weirdly obsessed with specific numbers. Knowledge is passed down from generation to generation and honed with teamwork. That's why magical girls are drawn to other magical girls. The two of us and our friends work together to develop efficient combat tactics like proper positioning, right balance between offense and defense, and what parts of a consume tend to be weak points. It's all about teamwork. Being a magical girl is a group effort. Surely a team isn't absolutely necessary. Nightshade moves in the shadows and strikes unseen. A team would announce that presence. Plus, I'm not, super great with people. Sometimes. So that's what's going on. I'm sure Kealey already noticed as much. She's practically psychic when it comes to figuring out what's really going on with people. Me? I'm a lot slower as a judge of character. No, Kealey, you were drawn towards other magical girls because you're a homosexual.
Say, Kealey, I heard you were a homosexual. That's nothing to be ashamed of, honey. Believe it or not, I was the same way.
Really?
Really? I didn't have any friends before I became a magical girl. Just sat in the back of the class in an oversized hoodie and tried not to draw attention to myself. Then Benevolence came to me, just like it came to you, and offered me a chance to do something more in my life. I was nervous about teaming up too, but once I met Sherry and our two other teammates, we fell into a rhythm right away. I promise it's not as hard as it sounds. You made the choice to become a hero, so you're already plenty brave.
There she goes again. Her pep talks are as legendary as ever. Ruby takes a long sip of her hot chocolate and lets out a deep breath.
Would you be willing to, like, help me, maybe?
Help you find a team? I mean, we're a little out of the loop when it comes to stuff like that, so...
No, I mean, like, help me be a magical girl.
Oy vey. I was worried she might say that. I get why she'd ask, but... I look over at Kealey, and to her chin she thinks over Ruby's request. Surely she must have expected the same thing, but she seems more intrigued by the idea than I am. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's in her nature to take care of things, after all.
You want us to train you? You don't have to, like, give me lessons or anything, but maybe we're able to watch you two hunt or something? Would that be okay?
Oh, well, about that. We're actually retired. We haven't fought or consumed for years. Sorry, but we're not the hunting type.
What do you mean? We just fought one!
That was an exception. If we hadn't heard you two nearby, we wouldn't have sought it out.
Oh.
Ruby looks down, defeated. I can't help feeling like a jerk for shooting her down like that, even if I was just telling the truth.
Maybe you could at least give me a bit of advice? I'm a fast learner, honest. That way I can catch up to everyone else.
Her voice is quieter than before, still doing her best to show conviction, but struggling to assert herself. Now I feel even more guilty. This is the kind of thing I'd be happy to do when I was her age, but I doubt I could even offer much help now anyway. I look over at Kealey to see that she looks even more guilty than I do. When she looks back at me, her eyes are wide and practically pleading. It's like she's asking if we can adopt a cat. I sigh, looking down and then back at the kid.
Well, I guess giving you a few pointers wouldn't hurt.
Ruby instantly perks up. So does Kealey.
You mean it?
Yeah, I think we can do that. I don't remember too much of what we really set in stone back then, but I can tell you about some tactical considerations and weaknesses you can exploit. That sort of stuff.
And it would be good to get a chance to try that magical girl-themed workout regimen I was telling you about.
She plays it off as a joke, but a look at Keeley's grin tells me how excited the idea makes her. No way does she want to stop at tidbits of advice. She really wants to train her. Training a rookie magical girl... Honestly, might be just the thing she needs to help her feel better about our time as magical girls running out. I hate to admit it, but a part of me can see the appeal as well. Passing on our knowledge to another generation does sound like something close to closure. Or at least a bit closer to... No sense thinking about that right now. Just need to focus on what's in front of me.
I mean, if it wouldn't be any trouble, then... If that's okay, like...
I guess lessons might be okay. We could try it, at least. Nothing major, though, okay?
It'll be our very own after-school program. Have fun!
Ruby makes another strange gesture, no doubt reaffirming her Nightshade persona. Indeed. With the wise teachings of my elders, I will gain the strength I need to be a true warrior of the night. A guardian of our fair city.
I'm officially making our first training rule that you can't call us your elders.
My mentors? I think that works. Kealey nods and takes one last sip of her coffee, finishing it with a satisfied...
So, shall we make contact using the existing group chat, or will we be working independently?
The what now?
Ah, I see.
Ruby pulls out her phone and opens up some messaging app I've never seen before. I lost interest in things like that when AIM shut down, so I'm sure there are plenty of other apps like that.
My fellow warriors of the night have a GC we use to coordinate our attacks on the enemy. I observe rather than participate, but it's quite helpful when it comes to logistics. Or, at the very least, to ensure none of them interfere with my mission of darkness.
So you do know other magical girls?
Well, I met one who sent me a link to the chat, but only once. She was nice and all, but she didn't understand my... nature.
As Nightshade, I mean. Lesbian magical couple adopts a magical teenager! Finally! The game we've been wanting!
Well, isn't that interesting? It would have been very helpful to have something like that when we were more active. Wouldn't you agree, dear?
I shrug, finishing off my coffee as well. Seems like it would make more sense to just talk on the phone, but what do I know? Hey, if it works, then it works. Probably something we'd need a little bit to learn, though.
Perhaps it would be better to simply communicate via text message, then.
She puts her phone away, no doubt surprised by her ignorance of whatever app that is. You know how to text, right? Yes, I know how to text. Kealey leans over to whisper to Ruby, but she's still loud enough for me to hear. She didn't know until a few years ago. You're kidding. Look, technology isn't my thing, alright? I'm fine with what we had back when we were kids. We had text messages, sweetie. Oh, I love them all so much. Ruby laughs at that one. The shaky uncertainness gone from her voice. Looks like our job is done. Let me give you my number. We can figure out his training schedule soon, okay? Okay. I mean, very well. I look forward to mastering the ways of the night with your assistance. Good to hear it. She's quite the interesting girl, no doubt about it. Odd, for sure. But every magical girl is odd at that age. We certainly were. Do you need us to call you a ride? I'll be fine, ma'am. My home isn't far from here. Just make sure you're careful on the way home. No more fights, okay? Very well. Even the most tireless of night warriors must rest from time to time. Yeah, exactly. I get up and pay for the three of us, tossing the few bucks I have left into the tip jar. Behind me, Kealey and Ruby swap numbers and say their goodbyes. She's always been good with kids. Mom energy, I think Nina called it. And who knows? Maybe it'll help her figure out how she feels about having kids of her own someday. Not like we haven't talked about it before, but never mind. Now isn't the time. Take care, Ruby. We'll see you soon. Kealey nudges me and mouths, Nightshade. I mean, Nightshade. Take care of yourself. And you as well, my mentors. I look forward to beginning our training post-haste. Ruby is such a cutie. I've come to hear the new Joyzy Puddle Girl. Why is news spreading about this? What? Why? How did... Welcome in, Quackers. How are you doing? With a final wave, Ruby leaves the coffee shop and disappears into the night. Well, that wasn't how I was expecting tonight to go. I didn't question how. I questioned why. Now, welcome in. Like, I'm really enjoying it. I'm so glad. I'm having a lovely time with this game. You know, the voice is fine. It's not that out of place. Massively. It's okay. Thank you, Ravane. Thank you, Ravane, for all your clips. Oh, thank you so much. I do have a lot of fun with this. I'm hoping to do more narrative games in the future. So this festival has been a really good, very intense trial run of that. Well, that wasn't how I was expecting tonight to go. Is that a bad thing? I guess it could have been worse. I do think I'm done with surprises for the time being. You and me both. I'm gonna be out like a light as soon as we get home. Kealey chuckles and kisses my cheek, taking my hand in hers. We chuckle in unison as we step through the doors and start our journey home. Definitely time to be done with surprises for now. Still, for a night when we planned to solve a mystery, I feel like we've been left with significantly more questions than answers. Not just about Ruby. I assumed it was dangerous, but there's no way it was the locked room killer. Something that far gone couldn't even open a door normally, let alone sneak through a locked one. So why did it just happen to show up while we were investigating? Was it drawn to the energy Kealey felt? Or could it have been some kind of lure? A distraction meant to pull us away from the crime scene? It's a possibility I don't want to consider. Not just because it's needlessly paranoid and yet another sign that this case is messing with my head, but because it would mean that there's something larger at play here. Hey, babe. That aura you felt at the house, that wasn't from the consumed we just took out, was it? No, it wasn't even close. In fact, it wasn't close to the aura of any consumed I've seen before. So, what do you think it was? Something new. Probably something dangerous. I nod, feeling that paranoia spreading through more of my mind. I'm already way too old to be handling cases with magic involved. But something tells me that this time, I don't have a choice. Everything right is wrong again! Get the band back together! Setting ourselves up as Ruby's after-school tutors was a lot easier than I'd expected it to be. All I'd had to do was lift a couple of official documents from her school to mail to her parents, and after a brief meeting with them, they went away believing we were just a couple of math experts. Kinda wish we'd picked a different lie, though. I'm awful at maths. At least it's a lot more believable than telling them we're going to be teaching their daughter how to fight monsters. Things should have gone without a hitch, but as soon as Sherry finished moving the couches and setting aside the coffee table, after promising she'd put them back exactly the way they were, to create a sparring space, we realized one major problem we had on our hands. It's already 5:45, and Ruby isn't here. We agreed on 4:30, right? She's probably just running late. You know how the trains are in the afternoon. I hope you're right. I just can't help wondering if she may have gotten cold feet. Honestly, I'd be a little nervous if I was her too. Working without magical girls can always make it feel a bit more real. I look over at the apple slices and juice I prepared for us. It's a classic set of refreshments, the same kind I used to bring to Sherry after her games. Healthy, refreshing, and with an acceptable level of sugar is a fun little boost. It doesn't involve much cooking, but there's still a bit of artistry to the presentation. The slices taste perfectly fine even after they've browned a bit, but the vibrant appearance of freshness can have a mental impact on whoever eats it. When it looks fresh, it feels fresh. At least Sherry will appreciate them. Wait. You are Sherry. Wait, we're Kealey now. We're Kealey now. I was paying attention. I understand. I look over at the apple slices and juice I prepared for us. It's a classic set of refreshments, the same kind I used to bring Sherry after her games. Healthy, refreshing, and with an acceptable level of sugar is a fun little boost. It doesn't involve much cooking, but there's still a bit of artistry to the presentation. The slices taste perfectly fine, even after they've browned a bit. If I'd known we'd be playing as Kealey, I would have pushed back more on the voice. The slices taste perfectly fine even after they browned a bit, but the vibrant appearance of freshness can have a mental impact on whoever eats it. When it looks fresh, it feels fresh. At least Sherry will appreciate them. Finally, after another 15 minutes, the doorbell rings. As soon as it does, I can feel my confidence start to waver. I was so excited to try my hand at being a teacher, but what if I'm no good? What if I'm too rusty or too old? Hey, babe. She puts a hand on my shoulder and gives me a reassuring smile. And just like that, I'm grounded again. You gonna be okay? Yeah, I think so, at least. I believe in you. If any of the people that worked on this game have somehow reached this point on the VOD, please don't take my doing this voice for Kealey as a sign of disrespect. I love the characters. I just got myself stuck in a bit. Think of this as my Nightshade, you know? Kealey's voice is to me as Nightshade is to Ruby. Keep going. I mean, I'm gonna keep going. I just want to make sure that it's clear that I'm not disrespecting the game. If you want to get the game, check out the pinned post. If you had to put this game in the stream category, they'd definitely find the clip. So, another point in favor of the games and demos section then, Ravane, is what you're telling me. She lets go of my shoulder and heads to the door, opening it to be greeted by a sullen-looking Ruby. Maybe a trying to be cool Ruby? I can't really tell, but I feel like it's the latter. Ruby, hey, come on in. Hello, my mentors. Forgive my lateness, but I wanted to wait until the sun dipped lower in the sky. Oh, she's perfect. I fight better in darkness, you see. Is that right? We magical girls are creatures of the night, are we not? To train, I must be able to draw strength from that very night. Of course we are. Isn't that right, dear? I look over to Sherry, raising my eyebrows in a gesture that I hope communicates, please play along. Oh, yeah, for sure. Ruby, creature of the night. Gotcha.
Ruby steps inside, flourishing dramatically.
After tonight, I know I'll be ready to defeat the force. I'll be ready to defeat the horses. I'll kill all the horses I need to. I fucking hate those lanky fuckers. Give me a sec, I've got the giggles. She's gonna beat up so many horses. After tonight, I know I'll be ready to defeat the doors. Fuck me running. The forces of darkness. No. No, I'm a fraud. Gotta defeat the forces of darkness. The forces of horses. Of courses, of courses. Breathe. Recenter yourself. Nay! After tonight, I know I'll be ready to... to defeat the forces of darkness that threaten our city like a true hero of the night. I won't fail again. We just had to run through it. It wasn't good. We had to just get through it.
That's wonderful, honey. I'm sure you'll be great. Now, would you like some apple slices before we get started?
Yes, please.
I hold out the plate for her, Sherry swooping over as soon as she has a chance to grab some as well. It isn't long until they devour the whole tray. Ruby takes a drink of her juice before looking up at me, still avoiding eye contact.
I might have to change Kealey's voice just because I can feel it going a bit rough down there. I'll keep trying, but I think it is starting to feel like it's one I need to keep an eye on.
Thank you, Mrs. Cohen. Just Kealey is fine. Mrs. Cohen makes me sound like an old lady.
Oh, right, sorry. Her voice lacks that usual edge or confidence when... No, wait.
Her voice lacked that usual edge or confidence when she gets like this. Hopefully Sherry and I can help her strike a balance between her insecurity and her Nightshade.
So, ready to get started? Of course. It's been the time since our last mission.
Are you alright? Are you doing okay?
Well, I have got some chewing gum in my mouth. It kind of keeps stumbling over my words. Of course. I spent the time since our last meeting honing my killer instinct for this training session.
I don't think we're going to be doing any killing today, honey.
Ah, yes, of course. Clearly. One must always be prepared to unleash that instinct at the moment, yes? Sure.
Sherry coughs awkwardly before gesturing to the sparring space.
Why don't you go ahead and join me over here? We can start with basic combat training.
Honey, I think Nightshade is having a stroke.
Oh, I'm doing fine. Excellent. I look forward to your instruction.
Ruby enters the sparring ring with Sherry, who starts to teach her the basics of hand-to-hand combat and defensive maneuvers. I watch them practice core moves, occasionally offering some advice from the sidelines. Don't forget the uppercut, sweetie.
Oh, good call. Thank you, babe.
Happy to help. Maybe we could focus on a specialization for her.
You want to take over for that? And maybe is that meant to be maybe after this?
Maybe after this, we could focus on a specialization for her.
You want to take over for that?
I nod and take my place in the sparring ring as Sherry collapses on the couch. I get ready to start my routine, but I hesitate when I look Ruby in the eye. She's breathing hard and her stance is starting to slip. She's holding herself up well, but the exhaustion is clear as day on her face. Oh no, I'm having a stroke too. Sorry, help! Please!
God.
But the exhaustion is clear as day on her face. I relax my stance, talking over strategy would probably be better for her right now. Actually, Ruby, why don't you sit down for a minute? I'll grab you some water. Then we can talk strategy for a bit. I don't need to break. The power of the night can't be exhausted by simple exercises.
Ruby, a little water isn't going to diminish the, power of the night. Take a seat.
Ruby looks away, embarrassed.
Yes, ma'am.
She plops down on a chair while Sherry looks over at me and scratches the back of her neck. I know she's worried about being too much of a taskmaster with this stuff, but I don't think she was being too harsh there. The horses will not wait. We can't break. What is it with you and horses?
That's all just part of my dark backstory.
Do you actually have a problem with horses? I mean, no, but like, we all gotta have a dark backstory, right? What's the point otherwise? I don't think she was being too harsh there. I'll remind her of that later. For now, I fill up glasses of water for all of us, then bring them over and sit down next to Sherry. All right, Ruby. Are you ready to talk about specialization?
What do you mean?
Well, as important as it is to know how to both attack and defend, it's important to be able to prioritize one or the other in specific situations. That applies to offensive or defensive mindsets as well.
Yes, of course. I understand completely.
She clearly doesn't, but I can tell that she's at least getting there. Let me give you an example. Say you come across a very intimidating looking consumed that's in the process of attacking an innocent person. The consumed looks at you and gets ready to fight, but it's still got its victim in its grasp. You know what kind of attack it's getting ready to throw at you. In a situation like this, you should... I think this is the first choice we've had to make in the game. Oh no, wait! Are we... Oh no. Do our choices affect what Ruby does and thus her chances of survival? Oh. Oh no. Take the attack head on for a better shot at freeing the victim from harm. Take cover for a better shot at killing the consumed and staying safe. I feel like Kealey would suggest defensive here, but yeah, I feel like defensive ultimately.
I see. Then I'll blend into the shadows and be ready to strike at the moment of victory.
Exactly. I'm sure you'll do great. I look to Sherry and she nods in agreement. Situations like that are always a tough call, but the two of us have been through enough to give a definitive answer to the question. Hopefully Ruby's able to take it to heart. Oh. Training regimen, basic tactics, threat assessment, disengagement. Okay, next one. You're crossing from rooftop to rooftop and you come across two paths. We go through the remaining questions without issue. Despite her situation when we first met her, she nails almost every single one of my scenarios. With a bit more combat training, she's got potential to be at the top of her game. It's getting a bit late, but maybe we got time to squeeze in one more sparring session. About to ask Sherry she's up to that when a sudden sound from the kitchen makes all three of us jumps. Jumps? Just jump. Damn, you girls are crushing the whole teacher thing! You ought to start a magical girl training center or something. I guarantee that'll bring a lot more than being a super sleuth does. We whirl around to find Nina sitting at the kitchen table, helping herself to one of the juice boxes from earlier.
Come on, Nina. What did we say about unannounced visits?
Oh, please, Cher. Don't act like you aren't always psyched to be blessed by my charming presence. I can't help giggling while I look at Sherry's stern expression. Doing the voice makes it harder to read somehow. As if she could actually be mad at Nina for long. I suppose this is as good a time for the introduction to Denny. My tongue just wasn't moving that time. Introductions as any, at least. Ruby, this is... I look back to see Ruby staring at Nina with wide eyes and jaw nearly on the floor. Yes? Nina giggles, clearly used to this kind of reaction. Nina Alika! That's my name. Don't wear it out.
Beautiful. Perfect. Oh my god! Oh my god! You know, I got a feeling you may have heard of me before. Ruby jumps up, a shaky grin on her face. Yes? Like, we stand eternal? Stan? Oh, Wig? Wig? But like every other of yours! I can't believe it! You're a magical girl! Well, that's not the kind of tea I prefer to spill, obviously. Please don't spell anything in my house. Nina holds her hand to her chin, chuckling. Oh, Cher, you do have no idea what we're talking about, do you? That's not true. I get it. Ruby stands you. It's the opposite of not being able to stand you. It makes perfect sense. Ruby stands you. It's the opposite of not being able to stand you. Makes perfect sense. It's actually Stan, Mrs. Cohen. I'm glad somebody here to know what it's like to be hip. I'm definitely confused by what the two of them are saying, but I'm even more confused by Ruby's fascination with Nina. I figured a girl like her listened to music that was a bit more dark. When they said they had a friend named Nina, I had no idea they meant the Nina. Oh, you two are so much trouble for not talking me up before I met your student. Not to mention knowing nothing about slang. Then again, I'm not surprised someone so technologically illiterate is up on the little strong. A little strong. We're not that technologically illiterate. Technologically illiterate. Technologically illiterate. Technologically illiterate. Technologically illiterate. We know as much as we need to. I don't see how wigs or Stans are gonna come up on the job. You never know, Cher. You never know. She turns away from us, smiling at Ruby again. Ruby, right? That's your name? Yes, ma'am. I mean, yes. I see that we're definitely past the Nightshade zone. Maybe that's a good thing. Well, it's good to meet you, Ruby. I hope we have a chance or two to work together sometime. Yes! Yes, please! I look forward to it. Of course you are. I'm me, after all. As for you two... She turns to us and gives us a quick wave. Let's plan a hunting trip soon, okay? Maybe by then you'll learn what social media is. Toodles! And like that, she's gone. Didn't even get a chance to ask why she showed up in the first place. So, I guess maybe we should call it for the day. I look over to Ruby, who's still clearly starstruck. That's probably for the best. Maybe we can pick it up again tomorrow afternoon? Ruby shakes her head rapidly and rubs her eyes before nodding. Yes, of course. I'll return to learn more of the powers of the night tomorrow. That sounds lovely, honey. I guess Nightshade can make a pretty quick recovery. Hopefully she can zone back in when she's around Nina, too. Sherry heads for the door, reaching for her jacket. You need a ride home? That won't be necessary. The rooftops will be more than sufficient for me. Just make sure you don't get seen, alright? Not to worry. The night is my ally. Right. Totally. When another way, Ruby departs for home. Sherry closes the door behind her, letting out a long breath. That went... well, I think. Let's say it went about 90% well. Whatever percent we did before Nina showed up. Sherry rubs her chin as I start to move our furniture back into place. I'm sure she'd be happy to help, but bless her heart, she always ends up with things a little off. It's not a big deal. Not really. I just like it when things are in the exact right place. Everything perfectly arranged and perfectly designed. Nice, neat, and ideal home. Makes me feel even happier here. Even if she doesn't quite get it, I'm sure it does the same for my Cher Bear. I wonder why she showed up anyway. You know her. Having a reason for things has never been her strong suit. I guess. She better not be trying to help out with Ruby's training, though. If I have to spend my afternoons listening to internet slang, I'm gonna go nuts. We could always try to learn a bit of it, sweetie. I'm still trying to get a handle on slang from when we were in high school. It'll be a long time before I can figure out what wigs have to do with anything. That's not very tubular of you, dear. She laughs as I finish moving everything back to its perfect place. There's that lovely feeling of familiarity again. It's odd, though.
The familiarity feels a bit different. Is that right? No, it's nothing so contradictory. It's more expanded. Huh. Hmm? Oh, nothing. Just reminiscing. That's right. There's something more. You're gonna be a star someday, I just know it. Sold out concerts and all. Stop it, you're gonna make me blush. That starstruck feeling, that gentle affection for the girl looking up to her. I've seen Nina act that way before. Sing for me again? Please? Fine, but just one more, okay? Mm-hmm. I wonder if Nina felt it too. That unfamiliar familiarity. I shift the couch a few inches to the right. Something about it doesn't feel perfect anymore. It's been a few days since our last session with Ruby. She told us that she's been training diligently on her off days, so I suppose this is where we test her to find out how much that training actually paid off. I've got faith in her. Weird as she might be, I can tell how serious she is about this. Hey, honey. Ruby said she'll be here in a few minutes. Oh, good timing. I just cleared out the sparring space. Did Nina get back to you about whether or not she's coming for this one? Oh, it's Sherry again now. Oh, thank goodness. Kealey shakes her head as she finishes peeling the last of the clementines. Her love for healthy post-workout snacks hasn't diminished a bit. No dice. She's looking at concert venues, apparently. I can imagine it's out of obligation rather than a choice. For sure. I'm sure she's dying to use her powers as much as she can in her final month. She loved being a magical girl nearly as much as you did. As much as I do, you mean? I still got time. Right, of course. Sorry, baby. Kealey huffs and gives me an I'm not really upset, but I am a little miffed pout. I'm not gonna stop loving being a magical girl until it's all over. It's the second best thing that ever happened to me. Plus, it also helped me find the first best thing that ever happened to me. And what might that be, I wonder? Why don't you come over here and let me show you? I put down the chair I'm carrying and quickly closed the distance between us. My voice! Can you believe how I used to sound? When I used to talk like this? God, this is so fucking weird. I'm never going back to that voice, no matter how many times you ask! She leans back against the kitchen counter and looks up at me before wrapping her arms around my waist and pressing her lips against mine. I put my hand on her side, starting to slide my way downward, when I'm interrupted by a loud knock at the door. Sorry, Cher Bear. Duty calls. I guess you'll have to give me a few more details about that first best thing after our Nightshade session. We're really calling her that now? Hey, somebody's got her. Kid's clearly insecure, and that persona of hers helps with that. It's a bit embarrassing to go along with it, but we'll need a confidence boost sometimes, especially kids. I get back to moving the furniture while Kealey opens the door and welcomes Ruby inside. Greetings once again, my teachers. As expected, I've come to master your most advanced combat techniques. I'm sure you have, honey. Just give us a few minutes to set up. Yes, of course. Ruby sits down in the kitchen while I finish moving the couch, doing her best to look pensive and brooding. It's passable. And how was your day today, honey? It was okay, I guess. I mean, the day passed as every other day does when one lives a normal life by daylight. Well, that's good to hear. How did things go with that boy you were talking about? With who now? Ruby stares down at the ground, no doubt trying to hide a bit of embarrassment. I am all too familiar with that particular move. Just some guy I was talking to Kealey about last time. Nobody important or anything. He's just like cool and stuff. Friend of yours? Kinda. I don't know, it's hard to talk to boys sometimes. That's okay, honey. Cher and I weren't very good to talk to boys either. I'm pretty sure that's because we were lesbians, baby. That may or may not have played a bit of a role, yeah? No one gets a chuckle out of Ruby. I'm glad she feels comfortable opening up about that stuff with us. Trust is the most important bond magical girls have to share with each other, both on and off the hunt. Teaching her that is going to be way more important than any kind of combat training. But if she can master it, she'll be unstoppable. Kealey's halfway through teaching Ruby the basics of feint counters when my phone starts ringing.
I grab it off the counter, expecting to pick up a call from Nina. The number isn't one I recognize. It's probably just some spam call, but something in the back of my mind compels me to pick it up anyway. Call it my detective's instinct. Hello? It's Nat. We need to talk. How the hell did you get this number? Don't give me that! We both know you're not naive enough to think we wouldn't keep tabs on you. Now, can you talk or not? Kealey motions for Ruby to stop, looking at me with a worried expression. Everything okay, sweetie? I nod, giving her a reassuring smile. Everything's fine, I promise. I just need to take this real quick. You two can go ahead and continue. I'm sure this kind of behavior would make anyone suspicious, but Kealey takes it in stride. We trust each other enough to be at peace with keeping secrets. I tell her everything, and she does the same. But I've got a feeling that whatever Nat's about to tell me isn't something I'm going to want to talk about in front of Ruby. Kealey turns back to Ruby and starts demonstrating another counter as I step out into the hall, keeping my voice low when I respond. Okay, start talking. You better have a damn good reason why you didn't just email me. I hear her sigh as I ball my free hand into a fist. Drop the tough guy act, Sherlock. I'm about to do you a favor. I thought you said you were done with favors. Call it a courtesy then. Just me looking out for your stubborn ass. I think I won't hang up on you. I've got shit to do. Listen, I'm calling about a case. The case. Don't tell me. And we got another one. Fresh, too. Sounds like Ruby's training is going to have to end a bit early. The last free bit of my brain starts working on excuses for sending her home. What's the address? I can leave right now. I'll give you the address, but I better not see you there. Why the hell not? For the same reason I called instead of emailing. Because I don't want you getting involved. I know damn well that if I didn't tell you the address, you'd find it out on your own. I'm telling you now because you need to know what recent report you have to stay away from. What? What a baffling plan. Hi, I just thought I'd call to tell you not to know about this thing. Too excited to welcome in. Oh, sorry. Scratched my eye and everything got really weird. Madam, I'm planning to finish Love Limit. Oh, that's cute. Thank you so much. I may well finish Love Limit. I won't be finishing it in the coming days. Not for the festival, but I am considering continuing some of the games that I played here because I'm really enjoying a lot of them. And thank you so much. Welcome in. I'll try. It's too late. I'm gonna scratch my eye no matter what. I'm just that kind of bitch. That's just my vibe. I hope your packing goes well. I hope everything goes smoothly with that. Yeah, I didn't scratch my eye like too bad. It just made it for a second hard to read. It's like wait, focus. It's coming back. I can see words again. Everything's fine. They're done letting you on the scene. I did my best to cover for you, but I'm out of excuses. They see you out there, you'll be leaving in handcuffs. You're joking. They know they need me for this. Nat's voice is quieter this time. Softer. Almost like she cares. I know. We both do. My boss is done letting a PI trample all over our scene without any results. It's bullshit, and I can tell Nat agrees. The cops just want to be the ones to collar this guy so they can get their asses kissed on TV. And there's no point in arguing. Her whole, I'm telling you to stay away shtick is bullshit too. She wouldn't give me the address if she didn't want me there. Fine, just tell me where it is and I'll stay out of sight. 86 Parrow Street. Got it. I'll avoid it like the plague. Don't fuck me on this one, Sherry. I'm serious. You won't get a warning next time. I know. Thanks, Nat. Yeah. Just don't make me regret this. I hang up and lean against the wall, trying to figure out a plan. They'll obviously have the body carted away before I get there, and the crime scene will certainly be locked down. Not that locks matter when my wife is involved. You're doing great! Why don't you take a quick break to rehydrate and have a snack? I feel like Keeley's talking to me right now. Yes, Miss Kealey. Excellent. I'll be back in a few minutes to test you on what we learned last week. Kealey pokes her head out of the door and into the hallway, smiling when she sees me. Who was that, sweetie? Everything all right? It was Nat. She got my number somehow. Then I assume everything isn't all right. You could say that. Kealey steps out into the hall and closes the door behind her, moving closer to me and lowering her voice to a whisper. Another one? Not just that. I'm cut off from investigating it this time. Guess the cops want to make sure I don't solve the case and get in the way of their propaganda. So we're definitely going to investigate it, right? I grin and wrap an arm around her, kissing her forehead. You know we will. They're so cute. I love them so much. As much as I'm worried about having Kealey involved in something so potentially dangerous, I can't deny how much easier it is having her around. A set of lockpicks doesn't compare to being able to simply slide underneath the door and open it up from the other side. She swings the door open and steps out, holding it for me while giving a playfully overdramatic bow. After you, honey. I return the smile and step inside, appreciating the brief moment of humour before we get started on the nasty part of the job. As usual, the scene has been almost entirely cleaned out. It reeks of bleach, even more than it normally does. It's more distracting than the traffic outside, something I can normally tune out. But right now, it's sharper than ever. If I didn't know better, I'd say they took away even more than usual just to spite me for trying to get involved. That's probably just paranoia setting in. This whole thing has both of us on edge more than we have been since we were kids.
No doubt about it. This is the same aura as before. You even feel stronger this time.
You're definitely right.
How can you tell?
I can actually feel it this time. If it's that strong to me, it must be overpowering to you.
No kidding.
She was right about this aura being more than your usual consumed aura too. Something about it feels wrong. As if the consumed energy is mixed together with something else. Something I can't describe. And yet, it feels like it's on the tip of my tongue.
You think there's anything in here you can trace, honey?
Not likely. The blood has been cleaned up enough that trying to trace it would probably just end up with me tracing the surface it was on. The furniture wouldn't be much help either.
Then I guess it's up to good old-fashioned detective work.
She gives me an encouraging nod and a grin, and I run my fingers through her hair affectionately. I know she's just trying to be supportive. It's hard not to feel a sense of hope when I look at her. You're going to start by casing the joint? That's what you do for your marks, right? Encouraging nut! She gives me an encouraging nut!
It would be if I lived in the 1950s. These days we just call it scouting.
That's much less interesting.
It really is.
I follow her gaze as she looks around the room before turning to examine the position of what remains of the blood splatters. The position of them would indicate that the victim was killed while sitting down. Does that mean he was asleep in the chair? Or did he just not have time to struggle? The second option is more likely given that I can't see any signs of a struggle, but if this really is a consumed... Well, they aren't exactly known for their subtlety.
There are no windows in here.
Huh?
Look around us. There isn't a single window on any other walls. That door is the only way in.
So the killer came through the front door. I guess the victim wasn't sitting down after all.
I'm not sure about that. If you trace the door, would you be able to find out when it was last unlocked?
Did anyone ever tell you you're a genius?
Once or twice.
I put my hand on the door and closed my eyes. Turn back the clock. Bring the past to me so that I might see the truth. For the sake of the innocent. Kealey was right. I can see the door unlocking a few minutes ago when we came in. I turn back further until I see it unlock again. The police this time, using a spare key they must have gotten from the building owner. And then... nothing. Not a single unlock in the past 48 hours beyond those two. I step away from the door, shaking my head in confusion. The killer didn't use the door.
I thought that might be the case.
You're saying that...
That's right, Sherlock. We got a real locked room mystery on our hands.
Consumed come in all shapes and sizes, but their powers don't. Being built to destroy is just part of their nature. There's no way something that's been true for millennia would randomly change overnight. Something else is going on here. And my gut tells me it's something much, much worse. And with that feeling in our gut, I'm gonna end Lock and Key for today. because I got it. Ooh, I do want to keep playing this one, though. This one's real good. I really like it. I love all the characters. I like the mystery. Ah! Ruby is a dorky little baby, and she needs to be protected. Sorry. Nightshade. My apologies, Nightshade. But yes, if you would like to check out Lock and Key, A Magical Girl Mystery, check out the link up in the pinned post. Today's the last day of the festival. If you want to get it at a cheaper price, now's your chance. Or the link in the description. If I do continue any of the games I played in the festival on stream, this one's definitely up there as a contender. Not gonna lie. Although, I mean, we just played a lot of really good ones. So, you know. In any case, coming up next, we have more, which looks really interesting to me. I think it's going to be heavier than the others that we've had so far today, but I'm really interested by the style. And if we have any furries in chat, I think they'll be interested. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye!